Step 1. Original harmony. It is always advisable when doing reharmonizations of tunes to go to the original harmony, the most basic one, or the original one anyway, and then try and understand it from that point of view. Well, in this case, the basic harmony is achieved with just the 1, 4, 5 chords, C, F, and G. It's a very good sound, very pleasing sound. There's nothing wrong with it at all. Step 2. Add dominant sevenths. Like a cooking recipe, right? Okay, in the second bar, we can convert the C to C7, C dominant 7. And we can put an E in the bass, which will lead nicely up to the F. So the C7 will have a B flat in it. So it's almost like a modulation. Then at the end, instead of having, in the basic version, a G, we have G7. So now we're going to include the F. So that gives it a little more tension, because the F wants to resolve to the E on the C. There's a little bit more flavor on that chord. Step 3. Add secondary dominant seventh. So a secondary dominant is a dominant of a dominant. Now in the penultimate bar we have the G7, and the dominant of G7 is D7. So D7 has an F sharp in it, D, F sharp, A, C. So that adds another sound. The melody doesn't change, but the flavor of the chord changes. To accommodate the D7 here, we're going to play D9. D9 contains E, the melody note. This chord is incredibly common in jazz. You see it all over the place. In Take the A Train, it's the second chord. In Girl from Ipanema, it's the second chord. Step 4. Introduce the sharp 4 minor 7 flat 5 chord. Sounds a bit painful, but it isn't. Really great sound. Well, what we're basically doing here is we're just substituting the D7 in the previous step for F sharp minor 7 flat 5. They contain almost the same notes. They're frequently used as substitutions of each other. The thing about it here is that if you look at bar 5, F major, then F sharp to G, you get a nice chromatic move of the bass line, so that's why I've chosen it here. Also, the penultimate chord has been changed. Now you can see that the G7 has been suspended, and then on the third beat of the penultimate bar, F minor 6 over G. F minor is the 4 minor chord, another chord that's really important in any tonality, the 4 minor. We're in C, so F minor is the 4. So we now get an A flat in the mix. You're getting that underneath the melody note, so it's giving a nice flavor. Step 5 is to introduce a diminished chord. Diminished chords are very unstable, so they're used quite often as passing chords. This chord is great for chromatically linking the 4 chord back to the 1 chord, and you hear it a lot in gospel. Step 6. Introduce the 4 minor chord. Well, we spoke about that quickly in step 4. Let's have a look at it now, again, in a different place. Well, you can see that it's been added to bar 5 after the F chord. F, F minor to C. This is one of the most commonly heard progressions. And it's a great sound that you want to get your ear used to in all its different guises. You might hear F, F minor to C, or F, B flat 7 to C. 7 is substituting the 3 minor 7 chord for the tonic chord. So the 3 minor 7 chord in C major is E minor 7. It's like a slightly brighter, jazzier sound than the previous tonic chord, the C chord that was there. Also, now the progression is F, F minor, E minor, so you've got that just chromatic step down from F minor to E minor, that chord movement. And again, it's very commonly heard. Okay, step 8 is to introduce the 6-7 chord. Well, in a diatonic key like C major, the 6th chord would normally be minor 7, A minor 7. So the 6-7 would be A7. It would contain a C sharp. You could say it brightens the music. Again, it gives it another flavor. Something else has happened here now. The A7 resolves down naturally a fifth down to D. In this case, it's D minor. The chord before was F, so we've substituted a D minor here for F. A very common substitution again. Substitute the major chord for the relative minor. Step 9. Adding the 4-7 chord. This chord is heard everywhere. If you're in C, as we are here, the 4-7 chord is F7, F, A, C, and E flat. So the E flat is immediately gives us kind of a blues sound. Step 10. Adding more tension and unstability. In this case, sharp 4 minor 7 flat 5 would be 4 is F, so sharp 4 is F sharp minor 7 flat 5. Again, remember that's very close to D7, almost the same notes. This gives us more chromatic bass movement from F sharp to F. Then we have E. Then now we've put in an E flat 7, which is tritone substitution to D minor 7. The melody note has changed, it's still G, but now we've got E flat 7, E flat, G, B flat, and D flat. So again, it's changing the flavor below the melody note, making it jazzy. Also here, in bar 4, I've inserted the B7 sharp 9 chord with a sharp 5. The sharp 5 because the melody is G. This delays the C chord. It gives us more melodic movement, but it gives us, it's a cool sound, and it delays the C by a beat. Keeps the harmonic motion going. Well, on the way down, after the A7, an A flat 7 flat 5 has been introduced. That's another tritone substitution. Normally, remember before it was D7. The tritone substitution of D is A flat. The fifth has been flattened because it sounds good and because the melody note is D. Then after that, you can see that there's a D flat major 7 on the last bar before C. This is very common as well in it. The D flat major 7, flat 2 major 7, D flat, F, A flat, and C. The C is the melody, and again, this device delays the target last chord of C. Also, it's a very beautiful, colorful sound. I think that's enough for now to digest. We will continue in the next video. Please remember to subscribe if you have enjoyed this video. Cheers!